I just can't remember The Mummy 3. That's the
It
problem.
was bad.
It
But
wasn't
it wasn't
good.
that bad.
He almost died in that scene.
No, he didn't.
We went to Disney over Christmas break, and I think I would have rather gone to Universal.
Okay, you're having an extremely goofy movie moment. But have a cinematic universe with Rick O'Connell.
I'm sold.
Eric Andre and Impractical Jokers, eat your heart out.
Still juicy.
At an archaeological dig in the ancient city of Hamunaptera, an American serving in a French Foreign Legion accidentally awakes a mummy who begins to wreak havoc as he searches for the reincarnation of his long-lost love. Hello and welcome back to Inside Quotes, the show where my brother and I rewatch, review, and relive the staples of our childhood. This is episode 102. 102.
Ooh, spooky.
102. And I am your host, Jeremy, and with me today is my older brother, Jonathan. Jonathan, welcome back to the show.
Quack, quack, everybody. Were you doing an impression at the beginning? Do I need to guess the celebrity impression that you did the intro on?
No.
I got Nick Cage vibes.
I was just doing the theater voice.
Oh, okay.
The trailer voice, but I could try Nick Cage next time.
That could be a fun intro, just you do a synopsis of or an intro for each movie in a different mediocre impression, and I have to guess the mediocre celebrity.
Okay, let's do it. Okay. Oh, that wasn't what I was going for, but it works.
Well,
back to the 102nd.
what a
What
sounds.
do you know why? Just before we get into anything, why is it second and not seconth? Why can't it all just be like first?
This
Fourth,
is
fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. First, second, and third. First, second, and third have to be so special.
First, second, third. Then I've never thought about this before.
Yeah.
This is I don't have an answer for you,
Well,
but
the English language is so crazy and it doesn't make much sense. But too bad we're not worried about English. We're talking Arabic, baby.
hieroglyphics.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Whatever it was probably written on papyri.
Papyri. Yes. Okay, so if you haven't guessed yet, by clicking the title and us reading the synopsis or the intro, we are, of course, Jonathan, covering the 1999 special movie, The Mummy.
Certified banger. And I know bangers.
And I know bangers. Tell me about this movie, Jonathan.
I love it.
All right. Well,
Episode in the can.
102th.
That's why it doesn't have the TH ending right there.
102th. I'm just going to start saying that every time I say second. Tooth.
He got tooth place.
Yeah, I got toothpaste. Toothpaste. All right, it's already getting late.
It's a late recording for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Mummy. This is a movie that I love. I love all these movies, and it has probably one of our favorite actors of all time. That doesn't hurt.
No, it can't hurt.
Brendan Fraser.
Probably one of his best films of all time. Brendan Fraser. We might have said this before in previous films, but Brendan Fraser does a great adventure movie.
He sure does.
He's the perfect adventure guy.
Yeah, I think he should have had more of a career than he ended up having. I mean, I think he did a lot, but he could have been like a adventure leading man He
Yeah.
did a lot of stuff like in the early 2000s, and then kind of not as much. But he's having a comeback, and we're all happy for him. So actually, his last name is pronounced Fraser, like Fraser with a Z.
Fraser.
But I like refuse to correct myself on that, and I just
Fraser?
say Fraser.
It's spelled with an S. Fraser.
Yeah, but he's like Canadian or something.
Fraser.
Yeah, I think that's how he pronounces it.
Fraser. Like a hockey player. I need to know what Brendan Fraser's hockey team is.
I looked up Brendan Fraser's top 5 movies based on box office. Do you want to have a guess at what those top 5 movies are?
Based on box office.
Yeah. You've seen them all.
Not the top grossing films of all time?
No, just like the movies that he's made that have made the most money.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course, The Mummy.
Okay.
Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Okay.
Inkheart?
No, not on
That was a good time for theater, weirdly. George of the Jungle.
Yes.
Dudley Do-Right.
No.
Nah, of course not.
There's an easy answer to this.
Mummy 2.
Yes.
Of course. And then Furry Vengeance.
No.
Okay.
Miley Cyrus.
Oh, wait, I'm missing one, aren't I?
Yeah, it's another easy answer.
What am I missing?
How many mummy?
I mean,
movies
the
are
third
there?
Mummy, there's
Yeah.
no way that one was good.
It money wise, it made just as
Money-wise.
much as the other ones.
Wow.
So yeah, the first 3 mummy movies all made like 400 million in the box office. And then number 4 was Journey to the Center of the Earth, and then the 5th one was George of the Jungle.
Huh.
But,
What's your favorite out of those movies?
ooh,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
that's a tough one.
That's
a
what I
tough
thought.
one.
That's what I thought.
Look, we haven't covered it yet, but George of the Jungle was very formative for me as a child. I've seen that movie many, many times. That is one of the tapes that I still have a VHS copy of in a box somewhere because I can't get rid of it.
Okay. Yeah.
And so it's probably that one, but I also love Dudley Do-Right. Those two, and if I'm being honest, I feel like Dudley Do-Right is, I might find it funnier, and I feel like I quote that one more.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, between those two and then the Mummy movies, it's just, he's a goated actor.
He is. He's a huge staple of our childhood.
Yeah.
Okay, Jonathan, you're forgetting one more classic movie. And that one.
Classic Brendan Fraser movie?
Yes.
Oh, Encino Man.
Oh!
Another classic.
I forgot about that one.
Encino Man.
I'm talking about Looney Tunes Back in Action.
Okay, yeah.
That's a good one.
That one was, that was in his like, that was in his like top 10 of like highest grossing, but it wasn't in
Really?
the top 5.
Encino Man is one that we need to do. I've been wanting to watch that a lot recently.
It's so good.
He's also in Son-in-Law.
Shoish!
Shoish! Yeah, Encino Man.
I've not seen the other like some of those other Pauly Shore movies, which that's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
But I've heard that he like has cameo parts in some of those others as his same character.
Yeah, it says like uncredited.
Yeah.
Oh, as Link.
As Link
That's
from
so
like Encino
funny.
Man,
No way.
which I've never seen.
I think it's just that one because I'm not seeing any other ones.
I guess it's okay.
The only other Pauly Shore movie that I've seen was Biodome.
I've seen that one.
That was good.
I watched that.
That was funny.
I only watched that because it was referenced in Weird Al's song Albuquerque.
Oh, really?
He talks about being on the
part?
plane, and it's like the in-flight movie was Biodome with Pauly Shore. And so I just always had that as like a reference of like this movie, and so I remember watching it on Netflix one time. It was,
Yeah, it was. I mean, that could be a good back burner episode for our Patreon.
Biodome.
Biodome. Anyways, yeah. Quick time to shout out our Patreon before we
Yeah.
get into it. If you listen to the show and you really appreciate it and you want even more content, and you want us to cover some other movies that aren't necessarily kids' movies that we grew up on, but movies that we need to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's only $3 a month, baby.
Yeah, join us on Patreon. We got 2 episodes out now. We've got a third one recorded. That one's going to be coming up soon.
Yes.
We just watched the movie Argyle.
Ooh.
On Apple TV Plus. That was a back burner.
I seem to be the only one that liked that movie.
Stay tuned for our thoughts on that if you join us over on the Patreon. And yeah, $3 a month.
Bonus episodes, baby. Episodes. I mean, how could you not? If anything, just please support us. We would love that. But obviously, this rest of this podcast is going to be for free on the main show. We can't stop that. We can't make you pay for that.
You couldn't stop us if you tried.
So, but yeah, if you want to help support the show, we would greatly appreciate that. And the first 10 patrons that we get will get an incentive. Well, there is an incentive to become a patron, but the first 10 will get an exclusive merch item that is mystery right now. That's a mystery.
Mystery item.
Yes. But an exclusive, stapley merch item.
On with the show.
Okay, so The Mummy came out in 1999.
I do have one memory about this movie.
I was just about to say.
Okay.
Where were you in 1999?
In 99, I was 7. This movie came out in the summer, I think. I think The Mummy came out before episode 1 or around that same summer.
Dude, 99 was a good year.
99 was like a really like landmark year for movies. I think there's like a book about it.
Was that Titanic or no? That was 97.
That was 97. The Matrix came out in 99.
Blech.
Even if you don't like it, I like The Matrix.
Okay.
Jeremy did not like it when he watched it.
Can't stand The Matrix.
The first Matrix is great. I don't really care about anything else after that. The other ones I've seen are fine.
I don't care. The reason I don't like that movie is, one, I don't like it. The second reason is you like that. The second reason is I hate it. The only thing.
Second reason is I hate it.
Is that I also
Third
really
reason,
just don't like
I
it. I
can't
that much.
stand it.
Third reason, when a movie only has one leg to stand on, and that leg has a tattoo on it that says, "I did so much for my time as a movie in history." I don't believe that.
I think it's an influential, but I think it's a good movie though. I think it's a good story. I think it's very interesting. We'll have to save that for maybe a back burners contention episode. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, 99. This came out though. I didn't see this movie in theaters or anything. The memory that I have though of this movie was we had a cousin, Christopher, that was in college at the time, and he was like living with like our great aunt and uncle, and we used to go over and visit them all the time because they lived a couple blocks down from us in the neighborhood. And I remember him talking about like he's got this new surround system for his TV, and like he wanted to like show it off. Like he me and like I don't know if you came up there. I think it was probably just me and the older brothers, Larry and Justin.
Yeah.
And he showed us the scene. He showed us a scene from The Mummy to like show off the surround system, and like and he just really liked the movie, and he was like showing it to us.
Surround sound something invented then? Or how old is that technology?
Well,
I don't know.
This is just him telling me about it and being excited about it was my first introduction to like surround sound.
Okay.
That was as far as I was concerned, that's when it was invented, 1999. Obviously, it was probably way before that in theaters. It's just like for you to have your own surround sound system at your home was probably like a cool flex.
Sure, yeah.
You know, and talking about like, oh, I got the subwoofer and
kind of like the 3D TV in 2008.
Yeah. And he showed us a scene from the Mummy. It wasn't like the intro prologue scene, but it was like when it kind of flashes forward to like the 30s, and Rick O'Connell and Benny are like outside of Hamunaptra at the beginning, like fighting.
Yeah.
And there's that battle scene, and we saw all of that like sequence before it cut to like the library scene where Evelyn knocks over all the bookshelves.
We'll get to talk about that scene. That's
Yeah.
a good scene.
But it was just like that action scene, and that's what he used to show it off. And I was like, oh man, this is pretty cool, and this looks like a fun movie. And I don't know. I guess a little bit later. I don't even know what year that was. It might have been after '99, actually. Probably by the time the movie came out on like home video and stuff, is when I first saw it. But
Now, did you watch this on a computer screen or a TV?
no, I'm pretty sure this was one that like either Larry or Justin bought the DVD because they had that like that Chick-fil-A part-time job money and started buying their own DVDs and stuff. I remember this was one of their movies that they bought that were like, oh, you can watch this one with us. And so I remember watching that.
They probably said that because they thought it would scare you.
Maybe. I don't know.
You could hang with us. It'll traumatize you.
Justin did used to traumatize me because he'd try and make up like the hottest concoctions ever, like with hot sauce and stuff, and like get me to taste it like soups and just like it just burn off my taste buds.
That's evil.
I'm not a spicy.
And you wonder why he hasn't been on the show yet. Justin, if you're listening, you're always welcome to be on the show.
And I think that I remember I probably told this on the episode 1 Star Wars episode, but like I remember Christopher was like he was talking about the surround sound, and he like invited me over. It's like, oh, we'll watch episode 1 like on the surround sound. You can get the whole like the whole thing. So he invited me over, but I was like still like a little kid. Yeah. He was in college. And I just like I know I fell asleep in like the first 10 minutes of the movie
because it was so loud and booming.
Yeah, I guess he turned it off. I don't know.
So
it was
sad.
just late.
You missed your opportunity.
It was like late. We started it at like 9 o'clock, and I was like, I'm just a little kid. Couldn't stay up that late.
Aw, what a core man. Yeah, I wasn't interested at all, I guess. Thanks for the invite. Yeah. So, Brendan Fraser, classic individ.
You could say that.
Might as well talk the rest of the cast before we get into the movie.
Okay.
Rachel Weisz?
What a
I don't know.
Weisz? French actress.
How do you say that? Weisz? Rachel Weisz? That sounds right.
I think so.
That's a familiar sounding name. She was in The Lobster. That's why I've known her.
Yeah, I haven't really seen a whole lot with her, but she's like a recognizable name.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she's married to Daniel Craig, James Bond.
Interesting.
I think they're a thing.
So we've got The Lobster for her, The Bourne Legacy. And
oh, yeah, I saw that one.
I've never seen that. Fred Claus. She voiced Saphira in Aragon. The dragon.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Now we're getting somewhere. Okay.
We watched that pretty recently.
We did, actually. How come we didn't cover it?
I don't know. Sometimes we just got to watch one for us, We don't always have to turn the microphones on every time. Or the microscopes.
Yeah.
Holes reference for the episode.
Holes.
Do we still get to reference Holes even though we're past it?
I mean, it's the best one.
It's a free-for-all for now.
Yeah.
For now on.
Wow. What else? Oh, Oz the Great and Powerful. I've never seen that one time. It was good. James Franco.
Yeah. It was a one-time watch, I think.
Yeah. Ooh, Arnold Vozzolo played Hamanatra, who was in Cody Banks 1 as another villain.
Yep.
Classic. That's the only other movie I've seen him in.
He hasn't done a whole lot else, but those are two pretty important roles for us. Cody Banks and The Mummy.
Both of them are staples, so
yeah.
He's good in our book. All right. And then we've got John Hannah, who played the brother.
Who basically, besides Brendan Fraser, carries this movie.
He does.
He's such a great sidekick.
Benny. Okay.
Benny is great too.
First of all,
pausing
the cast overview because this movie thrives on its side characters.
Yeah, I'd agree.
The side characters are 100% so good.
Yeah.
Got the airplane guy.
I mean, none of them are like actually Egyptian, but yeah. They're
I think
good.
Benny's the main character in this.
This is his movie, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Second, John Hannah, classic comedic relief.
Mm-hmm.
Side characters.
Great name, by the way. Jonathan?
Oh, yes. The Arabic guy that was like in charge of the hanging
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
sounded like Charlie Day. I loved him so much. Ugh. And then so many good side characters. I love this. I loved it. That's a mark of a good movie when you have a strong lead and also side characters that are amazing too.
I just remember one of the Americans was Cadbury from Richie Rich.
Oh yeah.
He was like, "Do not read from the book."
Never see him again after that.
Oh, the doctor librarian guy. I've seen him in a lot of stuff. Like the guy that like after Evelyn like pushes over all the bookshelves, he's in a lot of stuff. The cool like Magi guy with like the bird. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know his name, but the protector for Hamanatra.
The guy that looked like Hosier?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy.
I thought
I don't think we named
for some
him.
reason I thought you meant in the flashback scene.
Oh, no. Yeah. Okay, the flashback scene though. The mummy's like wife that dies that he's trying to bring back.
Yeah.
Do you know who she is?
Also Cody Banks?
No.
That's what I thought.
I don't.
She looks like her.
I don't know anything. I don't actually know her name. I just know that she is Marta in Arrested Development.
No.
Yeah.
Marta.
I was watching a YouTube video and someone pointed that out. It's like, hey, that's Marta from Arrested Development.
That's so funny. She looks like though, the Cody Banks, secret agent from the first one.
I could see that a little bit.
His handler. Wow, the fact that that's her biggest role as Marta is amazing. That's so iconic. Okay.
The captain, like the World War II captain, that's like, or not World War II. That was
World War One.
World War One.
Winston.
That just wants to go down in a blaze of glory.
Yeah. Oh, what a great death scene.
Yeah.
Good death scenes in this movie too. Cast isn't like super stacked. Like, like the Dr. Terrence, I recognize him mostly from The Chosen, actually. He played Nicodemus.
Yeah. I always recognize him. It's just like whatever the first thing you see an actor in.
Yeah.
And for me, it's Mr. Deeds.
Yeah, he was in Mr. Deeds. I think he kind of quit like general acting after a while, and he came back because he's more like a Christian activist, and not Christian activist, but like he does like Christian movies.
Oh, okay.
Supportive of that. Kind of like the boring teacher in Ferris Bueller.
Oh, Ben Stein.
Ben Stein, yeah. He's kind of crossed over into that realm.
Okay.
But he played Nicodemus in The Chosen, and he did a really good job with that.
He's been in a lot of stuff, but
yeah.
But that's okay. I appreciate when movies just have like, they don't have the major. I mean, you have a few stars in there, but just like
when
have
the
a
movie
good
can be iconic without a cast of people.
Yeah.
That everyone recognizes.
You don't need like 20 A-list actors in a movie to make a movie.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that. I love the back and forth with Rick O'Connell and Benny.
Yeah.
Those two. I live for that. It cracks me up every time. I love how weaselly Benny is, and he's just always running away. Probably one of my top like moments in this movie is when Brendan Fraser just like picks up a chair and throws it at Benny as he's running away.
Yes. Yeah. There's actually this really good YouTube video that I sent you.
Yeah, I watched it this afternoon.
Okay. Talking about the theme of this movie being karma, and how it revolves around karma as we know it, around Benny and Rick O'Connell, like the two sides of karma, and how Benny gets what he deserves at the end. Obviously, in a nutshell, that's what it is. You weasel out, you get what you deserve.
Mm-hmm.
Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And then Rick is constantly sort of trying to help him, but still frustrated with him. Like he won't, like that one part where he was waiting to save him, but he didn't stop trying to save him. The door did.
Mm-hmm.
How to Hide Philosophy in Action. It's a YouTube video by Ariana Alexis. So yeah, go check that out. It was really interesting. Yeah.
Let's do a little bit of setup. First of all, I love this movie, and I almost want to watch it again, just because, just for fun, because it's such a vibe, and it's like, I don't know, it's just like a comfort movie.
Yeah,
I can just like sit. I like want to spend more time in the universe of just like keep watching the movie.
There's something about an adventure movie that just scratches an itch that no other movie can scratch.
Yeah.
I am constantly craving the most perfect adventure movie. And like, we'll never get that, but
I think we got it.
I mean, we can get it, but like, doesn't mean that itch is forever scratched.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I can watch as many of them as I want and never get tired of them.
Mm-hmm.
National Treasure. Probably the best adventure movie in my mind right now. One of our favorites. What are you talking about? I would choose that over this.
No, I knocked this over.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I actually saw. I didn't listen to it. There was I was looking at other podcasts that talked about the Mummy, and one of them was like they did a National Treasure versus the Mummy episode.
Oh, really?
Is that like Raiders of the Lost podcast? I don't really listen to them, but
I don't like them.
Yeah, I'm not that into them, but I saw that they did like a matchup, like comparing the two, I guess. But yeah, this movie has it all though. It's like it's multi-genre in the fact that it's like it's got that adventure Indiana Jones aspect to it. But like you can't forget, like it's also has its like this is an old like universal horror type movie, so it's got the horror elements, it's got the comedy, it's got the adventure, it's got like the romance story to it, like,
and it's got the history
to it. Like, I feel like there's something in this movie for everybody.
Yeah, I
feel like most people would enjoy at least one aspect or a couple aspects, even if they didn't like some of the. Like for me and you, we're not really like big horror fans.
No,
so,
we're not.
But because this has the humor, because it's got the adventure to it, like it works for us. Yeah. So.
And I love a good Egyptian story.
Yeah. I mean,
started out with Moses. Here we are today, you know?
Man, as I was watching this, I was like, man, I really would love to go to Egypt if it wasn't like...
super dangerous.
Yeah, very sketchy.
I really would too. I probably still would.
And then earlier today, I was watching some video, and it was someone walking through like by the pyramids, and there was like people like outside trying to scam them and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, maybe I don't want to go. And
that's like a tourist trap.
Thing, yeah.
But you don't have to go to the pyramids to see them.
Yeah, there's something about Egypt that's just so cool. I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess just because we like heard about it like so much reading the Bible, going to church and stuff growing up. I don't know.
Prince of Egypt, classic movie.
Yeah,
there's also a lot of good like Egyptian movies, I would say.
I guess it's just like a good, very distinct culture too. Yeah, I guess so.
And an old culture. There's a lot of history behind it.
Yeah, that's true.
Geronimo Stilton book had the first one was Curse of the Emerald Eye.
Okay,
that was a pyramid book. Jonathan, who did the pyramids? Who built those pyramids?
I think it was aliens. I don't know.
Do you know any other Egyptian movies?
Oh man, you just unlocked a memory.
What?
Okay, there's this place in Florida. The Coral Castles.
I've never been there.
Okay, I've never been there either. I just know that growing up, I watched this video in Mr. Salmon's class.
Yeah. About
like the guy that made the Coral Castles.
Yes.
Okay, and so it's like these big coral rocks that this single guy, like he was like an immigrant that came to the U.S. and he like built these huge structures, and it's called the Coral Castles, and it was like this big like house almost, and it was, I feel like it was like a dedication to like his wife that passed away.
Yes. Yeah.
Where I'm going with this is that it's like a mystery how he made it. And like he would talk about like he knew the secrets of how they built the pyramids. But like nobody knew how he built these like structures. And so it was like that was like always like a mystery that like fascinated me. Was like, man, how did he do that? I don't know. And like there was like pictures of him, and he's like a small guy. It's not like he was like big and could like
physics leverage, baby.
He just knew something that people didn't know. Like, and I feel like this was like in the like early 1900s or something when he built these things. But anyway, that's always like the secret of like how'd they build the pyramids. He knew the answers. It was like a video. I think it was a favorite video of our teacher, Mr. Salmons, because I feel like I watched that like every year I was in his class in middle school.
Yeah.
I never went. I gotta go. That's on the bucket list. I'm going right
Coral
now.
Castles?
I'm going.
I'm having a hard time finding other Egyptian movies that aren't just like Egyptian-made movies.
Okay, books.
Books.
Do you remember a movie called, or a book called The Egypt Game, or The Gypsy Game? There was like a series.
The Egypt Game.
The Egypt Game was one, and then there was also one called The
Westing
Gypsy
Game.
I think that was another one. I don't think I watched or read that one.
I read that one. That was like a murder. That was like Clue.
I honestly don't remember a whole lot of other than I liked them, and I remember the Egypt one being cool because of the subject matter.
Yeah.
Ten Commandments, but you're just getting into biblical
Yeah,
movies.
maybe we're just thinking about Bible stories and. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of movies that maybe it's not based in Egypt.
But there's
it's
scenes where they're
in
like
Indiana Jones, like they go to Cairo and stuff. And,
yeah.
yeah.
All right, Indiana Jones. Let's say it.
Say what?
Where are you ranking this if you had to put The Mummy within the list of your Indiana Jones movies? Where is it going? That's a toughie, isn't it?
That's a tough one.
Listener, answer this for yourself as well.
Because I'm easily going to say, like, I would pick the Indiana Jones movies over the Mummy movies. But I would. But
not one over the other, one into the other.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's an easier question for me to answer, is which franchise would I rate over the other one? But I don't know how to intertwine them.
Yeah.
But the Mummy would be up there with like the best of the Indiana Jones for me.
Here's an easier question. Dial of Destiny or Rise of the Tomb of the Dragon Emperor Mummy movie?
Whatever the Mummy 3 was.
Yeah.
I've only seen that one time, and so I want to rewatch that one. But I remember thinking like it's not as good.
You've seen the other one time too?
I watched it. I have seen Dial of Destiny twice.
Okay, yeah.
So I would probably. Oh man. Yeah, I would go Dial of Destiny.
I would not.
I would.
I absolutely would not.
But I haven't. I just can't remember the Mummy 3. That's the
problem.
problem.
Was bad.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't that bad.
But that's the thing. I don't hate Dial of Destiny, but it wasn't great. It wasn't good. So I don't know.
We're not here to hate on movies. That's not our. If you want to listen to any other movie podcast, you can go listen to them. Hate on movies. We're not here for that, I guess. But you gotta say it's in the question for top 3.
What is
top 5? The Mummy is better than 2 of them.
I would put yeah, absolutely. I'd put the Mummy up there like with Temple of Doom and Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like those 3 are probably my 3 favorite out of the whole series. Out of both series.
Temple of Doom? We went over this.
We talked about this. I love Temple of Doom. That's my favorite Indiana Jones movie.
Last Crusade is your favorite.
No.
Was.
No.
All right.
Yep.
Well, then, yeah, I agree too, then. Anyways. Whatever. That was a side. That was a tangent. You were talking about the monster movie era. Like, The Mummy and
So you've got
Frankenstein.
you've got Frankenstein, Dracula, the Mummy. There's just a lot of like the classic Universal monster movies
Yeah.
of like the 30s and stuff. Pretty much all like having Boris Karloff in them.
Okay.
So we thought about watching the Mummy, like the classic one, before recording, but
Yeah.
we decided not to. We just didn't have time. I looked it up. It's not even really streaming for free anywhere.
Okay.
I kind of pitched the idea of like doing maybe around Halloween time, maybe we could cover some of those.
Okay. Yeah. Listeners, if you're interested in that, let us know.
But I haven't really seen a lot of them. I've seen the Frankenstein movie. Have you seen that?
I've never seen any movie in the 1930s. Just kidding.
What's
Wizard of Oz.
What's the oldest movie you've ever seen?
Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
That one where the train's coming towards the audience.
Yeah. That might be up there.
Wait, I have it on my Letterboxd.
Okay, all right.
Let's see. One time I went through every single movie in the Letterboxd catalog. I was very bored one day. I wanted to see how many movies I've actually seen.
We had an English class where we read the Frankenstein story, and I'm pretty sure we watched the movie then in that class.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen Frankenstein.
And when I say we read Frankenstein, I skimmed it and did a lot of cliff notes.
Basically, the Boo Berry Chronicles. Count Chocolate Chronicles.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I've seen, to this day, 975 films. Which is, I thought I would have at least 1,000.
Well, we're getting there with the back burners. We'll get there.
We are getting there. I do need to update this, but here we go. Earliest release date. Okay, so the first movie that I've seen, I guess, is technically The General with Buster Keaton. It's the one where he's on the train front.
You've seen that whole movie?
No, but we studied it.
Oh, okay. Like, I've seen a lot of clips and stuff from old movies, but there's a lot of stuff I've never watched.
Steamboat Willie, that's 8 minutes. It doesn't count. The Marx Brothers Animal Crackers.
Yeah,
that's the earliest movie I've ever seen.
Yeah. What year is that?
1930.
That's before Duck Soup?
Yes. Duck Soup was 40s, I thought. No, 33. Duck Soup's a classic, man.
Yeah, the Marx Brothers, those are some old ones for sure.
I'm not going to count Steamboat Willie or any of the Disney. I'm going to take those off my list.
So, a few years back, when every studio was obsessed with creating their own cinematic universe,
yes,
they decided to like reboot the Universal monsters. Like they called it like the Dark Cinematic Universe.
Yes,
and they made this movie Dracula Untold, and that was supposed to like kick off this like interconnected cinematic universe. Didn't do that well, and then that's when they followed it up with the new Mummy that had Tom Cruise in it.
Ew.
And that didn't do well either. And I think that
when
just
was
like
all this? The Dracula Untold?
2014.
Okay.
Ish. Well, it may have been after that because I think the Mummy with Tom Cruise was 2017.
We don't speak of that name.
Tom Cruise?
That whole Mummy with Tom Cruise.
When that came out, I said, I've got no interest in that. I'm a Brendan Fraser fan through and through.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, I love your Mission Impossible movies. I'm going to sit this one out out of respect for Brendan.
Amen.
But yeah, so that movie just didn't do well, and they that whole like their whole plans for doing that cinematic universe just kind of like fell apart.
Yeah.
Actually, I think they did a Frankenstein one too.
Did they really?
Yeah, they did these like origin films, and then it just like didn't go anywhere because they weren't very good. So I didn't see any of them.
Well, now they're doing this theme park at Epic Universe. This section of Dark Universe. I think that's what it's called.
I don't think it's called Dark Universe. That's the section of the new park?
Epic Universe.
Epic Universe. Yeah, they're going to have like a Nintendo World section. They're going to expand the Harry Potter stuff and do another
Ministry
of
of Magic,
Magic section.
How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk, Celestial Park.
Dude, there's a mummy ride.
There is a mummy ride.
That's a good ride.
It is a
That was fun. That also has like a good like. I'm gonna look it up. It has like a good like video like as you're waiting in line, like of Brendan Fraser like being interviewed on the set of the movie or something, and
yes.
there's like spooky stuff going on, and he's like yelling at people.
I was right. It was Dark Universe. So it's got to be Frankenstein. Monsters are roaming.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess they're doing that. It's just not like it's gonna be classic stuff. I'm assuming.
I assume they're gonna reboot, the reboot, and redo some of these.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of that stuff. I guess they own it, but some of that is so old. It's got to be like public domain.
Sure.
I don't know. There's probably so many different iterations.
They're probably just doing it because no one else has done it.
Yeah.
But that should be cool. I'd be excited to go. Like, they're turning into a solid, like, Disney Infinity Stone collecting, like, 3 parks.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you could spend a week there now.
Yeah.
Easily.
We went to Disney over Christmas break, and I think I would have rather gone to Universal.
I would have as well.
It was good, though.
To our Disney fans.
We got to, you know, Galaxy's Edge was a back burner for us. We needed to go check that one off the list. So
yeah.
At least it was for me. Okay, let's bring it back.
What were we gonna say? Somebody, maybe this was a video essay I was talking about. Back to the Dark Universe thing. Mm-hmm. This might have been a Josh O'Keefe thing because I like all of his video essays online. I don't know if he said this was something they were wanting to do or something that he would want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
Back in, like, instead of having 3 sequels or 2 sequels of the Mummy, just have the one Mummy movie and continue this Brendan Fraser character and have him fight all the other Dark Universe monsters, like a vampire movie with Brendan Fraser in it.
Oh,
with what's his character's name?
I'm sold.
And then a Frankenstein one with him, or I guess that's like a different one. But like a vampire movie with him, and then a ghost movie, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
What are all these Dark Universe creatures?
I mean, most of them it's like, you know, Dracula.
I'm just thinking
Wolfman,
werewolf, yeah.
Frankenstein, the Mummy. I mean, those are the big ones.
But have a cinematic universe with Rick O'Connell.
Van Helsing was like one. He was like a vampire hunter.
Yeah,
I think, and I think the guy that made, I think it's the same guy that made the first 2 Mummy movies. Made a Hugh Jackman movie with Van Helsing.
Oh, really?
In like 2004. Was not very good. I watched it one time. But I love that idea. Just having him like be the constant in all these.
Yeah, because everything's dark, yet it's an adventure movie because Brendan Fraser is him.
Yeah.
He lives in the moment, and he is very confident yet serious, yet always there making a joke. It's not like a Marvel movie where they have to throw in a little joke there. Yeah, like that's not very classy.
Yeah.
Somehow there's some like whimsy with him in an adventure movie like this.
Yeah.
Like he's there, he's focused, but it's just so like almost cartoonish. A little bit. This whole, in a good way.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it necessarily.
I'd be all,
but
I'm
it's
all
like,
up for him
it
coming
puts
back.
You at ease. Now, would you want Brendan Fraser to come back and do another Mummy movie?
Yes. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I would too.
I would. I mean,
but not a TV show.
He's
tired of the stupid TV show sequels.
Yeah. The limited series. If you're going into it with like a limited series mindset, like just make the movie.
Right.
That kind of annoys me. Because most of the time they don't really have the story to really stretch it out over that many episodes.
Yeah. Yeah,
they should bring him back, for sure. We solved that one. Okay, let's go back because you wanted to talk about the beginning, like the library scene with
Oh,
like
yeah.
knocking over the bookshelves.
Iconic scene. And I said while we were watching this movie, I was like, okay, you're having an extremely goofy movie moment. Like it was literally that they must have copied that same scene from The Mummy. The clumsy librarian gets distracted and eventually loses balance on the ladder, which last time you've been to a library with a ladder on it?
I've always wanted to. That's a bucket list item.
And then she falls, and so do the bookshelves. It's a
so
classic
cool.
dominoes scene.
Mhm.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, yeah. And she even looks like the character from Extremely Goofy Movie. Like they had to have copied that. When did did that movie come out before?
Yeah,
Did this-
it was probably the same time, exact same year, probably.
Did this movie make fun of it?
No, I don't think. I think it's just a trope of
It is classic clumsy librarian,
librarian
knocking over the bookshelves.
got so many books they can't see what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I heard that they did that in one take, which was pretty cool.
No way.
Yeah, they got that like on the first try.
I wouldn't want to pick that up again. I'd be like, all right, let's clean up,
Yeah.
wrap it up for the day. Yeah, that makes sense.
I really like the introduction too of Rick's character where, well, not whenever she meets him at the prison and he's like about to be hanged and everything.
Yeah.
There's some good lines in that scene, and I always thought that was pretty cool.
There's always a good.
He almost died in that scene.
No, he didn't.
He had a close call with the hanging scene.
Really?
Like yeah, I don't know. I just read that like it was he was like almost like really badly injured in like
No,
in
that's
that
scary.
doing that stunt.
That's so scary.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you knew this, but in the Lord of the Rings, you know when Aragorn kicks the helmet, he actually broke his toe.
Wow. And like when he screams, that's like real, right?
Yeah. So that's like method acting it to its fullest. That's really cool. I mean, it's not cool at all, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I watched a lot of the behind the scenes and stuff for this. Well, I didn't watch a lot, but because a lot of it was more based on like this being, they were really pushing like the CGI for the time. 99 was like you're like the
course.
peak. Wow, we can do anything with a computer now.
Right.
And so like we can like fully realize these
It will
characters.
take 3 years to render, but
Yeah. And so there's a lot of, like behind the scenes of like this is how we created this and behind the scenes, and that was the stuff that was like exciting back in the day cuz like it was basically like free film school of just like seeing all the bonus features and like how they did all the stuff.
Yeah.
But now I was just like, okay, the CGI's it's not that great. It was kind of early days of that kind of thing. And they
But
did it kind of
does it-
sparingly, but
it ages well enough
yeah.
because it doesn't take itself too seriously.
Mhm.
I think this was more an adventure than an action movie or a horror movie.
Mhm.
With it being an adventure movie, it kept itself lighthearted a little bit,
Yeah.
and it just the cheesier the movie was campy, but the animation didn't have to be like perfect. Kind of like buys into it more.
Mm.
Now, The Mummy Returns. Ew. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that one.
So,
Okay, I've talked in movies like I love a good like train scene.
yes.
Like people are traveling by train. This one is like really cool because you're like
like a
riding on
boat.
like a ferry boat or something like that. But you get the same vibes of like being on a train.
Death on the Nile. That was the other
That's-
Egyptian movie I was thinking
Death
of.
on the Nile.
Once you said boat, I was like, that's it.
There we go. So I'll give this one I don't know. There's something about that. I always love that.
It's the adventure. Makes you feel like you're on vacation, but
Yeah.
seriously.
They got their own compartments and everything. It's nice and cozy until guns start firing.
Yeah.
And it all goes up in flames. I'll be honest. The story of this movie, I don't know all the details. and I don't really care to
It's
know
not
the
about
details.
the story, pal.
Hey, look, all I know is this mummy guy, this like pharaoh guy, whatever. Like he loved this woman, she died, he died. He wants to bring her back. That's all I need to know. You know,
and he's gonna kill everybody in his way to get to that point.
and he's got it. So, and I guess it is kind of like he's kind of like Thanos trying to collect the Infinity Stones because he's got to get those bottles or whatever.
Yeah, you're so right.
Before he can take his like full form again or something.
Wow, how unoriginal that was. But it's that, and then the rest of the movie is just don't worry about the plot. Just enjoy watching these mummies get murked.
Yeah, exactly. I don't. The story is just there for me. I'm just having a good time, and that's fine.
We're having a good time.
And that leads to lots of great deaths on the Nile, perhaps.
Absolutely.
A lot of good death scenes in the movie.
Okay, death number 1. Well, I guess the Pharaoh. That was hard. That was a lot of stabbing in the shadow stabbing. That was a lot. Didn't really like that.
What do you mean by that?
It showed like the silhouette of them stabbing. Both stabbing the Pharaoh.
Okay, yeah.
Death scene number 1. There's a lot of good death scenes. Wow. The scarabs. Scarabs are scary.
That's what they're called. The bugs.
The scarab beetles, yeah.
I always
Those
forget.
are so freaky. I'm more scared of those scenes than any of the mummy scenes.
Scarier than the mummy. The scarabs, yeah.
Absolutely.
Those beetles, yeah.
Absolutely. The fact that it can get into your skin. Nope. It was really cool watching that. And that death scene was crazy. Benny's death scene was really good as well. The Winston's death scene where he gets sunk into the sand when they crash the plane.
Oh, yeah.
It was sort of like a honorable send-off,
Mm-hmm.
but it was so like wholesome in
Yeah.
a way. He was like, he died doing what he loved.
Yeah.
Benny's was really unsettling to me because you didn't see it happen, and it happened in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
And
But you hear the screams.
all of them, you could see them coming up and enclosing around him, and there's so many of them that they suck the oxygen out, putting out the torch.
Yeah.
And that was cool. Although I don't know, is the scarabs being possessed, are they just fancy scarabs, or is that the spirit of the lady mummy, whatever her name was?
I don't know. I didn't really think that they were connected to the mummy like reappearing. I just thought they were like ancient creatures that people hadn't seen because they had been
Maybe.
locked in that tomb or something.
That's possible. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because they locked him in with the mummy guy.
I don't really remember if those come back in the second one. If those are those just in the city of Hamunaptra, or if they're like other places? I don't know.
Possible. We'll have to watch the second one soon.
I think so.
The key.
Mm.
The key was so cool.
Yeah.
With the little map inside.
That's straight out of like Indiana Jones. It's like the artifact,
Yeah.
that they're chasing. It's like the MacGuffin, like having that book with the key. That was really cool.
That would be, I don't know if they did this back then, but from a manufacturing standpoint, that would be a sick toy to have.
Mm-hmm.
Just like honestly, it's kind of a fidget. Like you hit a button and it just
It has such a good like
crispy sound yeah.
design to it. Like whenever you turn it and you hear like the clanking and the clicking of like.
Oh yeah, so good, so good, so good. It would be the coolest toy.
Yeah, and of course, when we have a set for our podcast, we'll have that on the bookshelf.
We'll have our own pyramid.
We'll have a pyramid.
But yeah, I like the scene. I thought it was very funny. It just shows to his character even more when Benny was getting cornered by the mummy, and he starts praying in all the different religions.
Yes, yeah. It's like, this one's not working next. He's got the whole necklace of all of them.
He had his insurance. He had his butt covered. Insurance policies right there.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but just all of their interactions, Rick and Benny was just, I was eating it up. I thought it was so funny. The movie like goes to a lot more like places than I remembered it. Like, it's like they're at the city at the beginning, but then it's like a few years later. Like they go, I guess I just forgot that they go out to the city again the first time, and then they like flee, and then they leave. And I don't know, I don't know where they go after that, what the name of that city is, where like the mummy follows them there, and he's got Benny helping him, and like we've got the plagues happening.
Yeah,
that was another cool aspect of it too. I remember like as a kid, like oh, this is what the plagues were like, you know, like the water turning to blood or something. Or it only showed a few of them, but
yeah, they don't really go in depth in either of the two most popular Egyptian movies. Mm-hmm. Of what the plagues were like.
What are the two most popular ones?
Prince of Egypt, they just did a little montage.
Right.
And then this.
Well, I would probably say the Ten Commandments is probably the most famous
irrelevant because it was last century. So were both of those movies. Anyways. But I don't feel like it was that. Like they could remake that movie, and I would be happy. The Ten Commandments.
Have you ever seen the original?
Yes.
I've seen it once or twice. I don't know. It's a long movie.
I read the book. It made sense. Book's way better.
But I guess I just I forgot. I kind of thought that once they got out there with like Evelyn and Rick and Jonathan, like, and they bring the mummy back to life, I kind of just thought the rest of the movie would take place there. I guess I just forgot that they leave and then they come back again.
They got to contain this guy.
And this time, like, the mummy is like taking Evelyn with her.
There's a lot of stuff that goes on plot-wise. And honestly, if they rewrote it to where it was constantly in the pyramid, they probably could have done that.
They could have, but it's
not even a pyramid.
I appreciated it more though, like because you got more different scenery.
Yeah.
Because I think by the time you get to the end, there's a lot of like action scenes, and some of that kind of I feel like maybe goes a little long. Yeah. But at the same time, like I'm enjoying it all. I feel like if it had gone like another 10, 15 minutes, it would have been like too much.
I guess it was just paced, unsettling.
I think it was paced about right.
Yeah. Maybe it was just unsettling seeing him in the real world, like the villain in the real world where you have no control. It's almost like seeing a burglar break into your house when you're still in the house, sort of thing.
And also just seeing him like in his various states of form.
Yeah.
Which is another part of like the death scenes that are really cool, because like there's the guy that he like steals his eyes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I saw something that was like, because the mummy steals the eyes from the American that like has lost his glasses. Yeah. So he doesn't have good vision, right? So it would make sense that because the mummy now doesn't have good vision, he would mistake Evelyn as his like bride.
Wow.
That was like a theory that I saw someone mention. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool.
That's smart, yeah. I was just gonna say, I thought you were gonna say he needed to have glasses. Yeah, he should be wearing glasses.
The mummy should have had glasses, I think. There was that, and yeah, like then they like cut out his tongue and stuff. Like that guy, he didn't deserve all that.
The Americans, they did the Americans dirty in this movie. They weren't even that bad at people. They were just rowdy, rough and riders. Yeah. Oh, back to like right after the library scene, or maybe right before, where you first meet her brother. Yeah. Where he's hiding in the coffin.
Yeah, that was gross.
Of the mummy. Bro commits to the bit. Like, imagine sitting in a coffin with a rotted corpse for a prank. Yeah. Eric Andre and Impractical Jokers, eat your heart out.
And he pulls up the skeleton too, and like puts his arm around it, and like waves with it. It's just
that's so gross. It still looked juicy.
Yeah. Still juicy.
Sorry, we can't quote right now.
I know. If you've been wondering why I've been holding back the quotes, we've got something saved. We've got something saved.
Yeah.
So one part of the story element is that there's like the Magi or something, like there's this like secret organization that have been like guarding the site of Hamunaptra, trying to make sure that the mummy doesn't come back to life. And like that's like this whole secret organization and everything. So that's kind of who they are. I don't really know the backstory at the beginning, but there's kind of this battle with them at the beginning. It's like, and they kind of scare them off, I guess. But anyways, I guess once they bring him back to life, Evelyn reads out of the book unknowingly that's going to bring him back, and I guess that's why like they team up with that guy. I don't think they ever name him in the movie. His character does have a name, like in the credits, but
there's a lot of different characters, and it's very messy.
The cool guy, bearded guy, on the horse all the time.
Hosier.
He
looks like Hosier.
He's got the raven or something. But there was a funny scene when Brendan Fraser like strikes a match using that guy's stubble on his face.
Nothing like a good old style movie where they strike a match on something that's not a matchbox.
Yeah, like the heel of a boot or something.
Yeah. Oh man, that's funny.
I think it works out. I like the dynamic of the three. With Rick, Evelyn, Jonathan.
Yeah.
They all kind of bring something different to the table. And and so you just get those like fun scenes of them like exploring the ruins and stuff at the beginning before everything breaks loose and everything. So, you know, if anybody's like walking through tunnels holding like a torch, that's my kind of movie.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, I agree. I will say when it came to the danger stuff, her brother was a little too relaxed about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when she was about to get stabbed and stuff, he was just like, I found the book! Can you believe it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He could have just been a little bit more scared. I don't know. Great character, though. Great character.
Funny guy. Great name.
Well, I think I'm out of notes, and I think that I don't know about you.
If we're out of notes, I guess it brings us to talk about the quotes.
I think it's once we're out of notes, it must be time for the quote off.
Oh.
Now, Jonathan. Now, listeners, we have noticed that this show is called Inside Quotes, and we do talk about the quotes a lot, but it's kind of a messy. We wanted to like restructure our show a little bit, and have a special moment just for the quotes without us just listing them off. And we decided to turn this into a competition. So what's going to happen is we're going to start this round and we are going to just list off all the quotes. We take a turn and whoever stops and doesn't have as much loses.
We're just going to say quotes until we can't quote anymore.
It's a quote off.
And we are using notes, right?
Depends on the movie. We can decide whether or not we want to use notes.
Let's use notes for this one.
Okay.
This one, we have a couple quotes, but like not ones that we use a lot.
Okay.
Like we could say something from this movie and we would know what we're referencing.
Right.
But it's not one that we've used quite a lot.
Should we do a practice round with holes? We'll be here all night.
We'll be here all night then, yeah.
We'll be here for at least 2 hours for the whole movie.
We're just going to go back and forth.
Yeah.
Until we run out. And so it can be a combination of notes or memory.
It's going to be a game competition.
Who goes first?
Ooh.
Who talks first? I talk first, you talk first.
This is your movie, right?
I picked it.
So you go first.
I picked it. This was my turn this week. You just got promoted. That's at the beginning. Do you know what I'm talking about?
You're with me on this one, right?
Do we have to explain the quote, or we're just gonna say?
Nope, we're just gonna go for it. Out of context.
All right.
We got to do this quick.
Okay.
All right.
What did you say?
You're with me on this one, right?
Yeah. Loosen the knot and let me go.
Oh, your strength gives me strength.
Think of my children. You don't have any children. Someday I might.
Someday I might. Goodbye, Benny.
He's still juicy.
Oh man, I can't say that one. We can't repeat each other's.
Right,
either.
right.
Give me frogs, flies, locusts, anything but you. Compared to you, I bet the other plagues were just joy. That was bad. Not too that bad.
Oh, God, looks like I've got all the horses.
Hey, Betty. Looks like you're on the wrong side of the river.
That happens a lot around here.
Apparently, he had a very good time.
What have we done?
Oh, that was so dramatic. Have you have no respect for the dead?
Question: why doesn't he like cats?
I would pay £100 just to see him hang.
I think I'm out.
You're out? I got
Yeah.
plenty more.
I didn't try and write down everything.
His neck did not break. I'm here to protect my investment. He was my favorite character. Oh man, he was so good. I only gamble with my life, not my money. That was a good line. Did I win this?
I think you won. Yeah, yeah.
Going. Wait here. I'll go get help. When he jumps across. Americans. Yeah, you already said that one. Oh, also just the Charlie Day
It
guy.
wasn't that good of a kiss.
You dream about dead guys? You said that one.
No, I didn't say that one.
Who cares about a book? Where's the treasure? Oh well, back to the airfield. There's some random funny laugh, I don't know. And then the last one I wrote was, well, let me guess. Spring cleaning? I didn't look a single one of those up. I just wrote them down as I was watching the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, those stand out. But I guess I'll take the win. I'll take the dub on this.
Yeah.
And then we'll just keep a tally of how many we've per season, of how many we've won.
All right.
But that was the quote off.
And cut. That's a wrap, folks.
All right. Well,
I win.
Jeremy wins first round. We're working on the segment, but
Yeah, that was our brainstorm session. First time.
But then it doesn't just turn into us just like 10 minutes of us quoting back.
I mean,
and
that
forth.
pretty much was, but
But it's a little bit more fun and a
Yeah.
little bit quicker paced.
yeah.
I think that's the big thing. Okay. I guess we got to wrap things up here.
I guess so. I'm good.
Kind of like a mummy, right?
That's good. That's good.
What would you give this movie on Letterboxd out of 5?
For
It's not a 5-star, I don't think. I want it to be. I think this is one of those rare where I'm going to deduct half a star for no reason other than just feeling like maybe it doesn't deserve 5 stars, but it's really good and I love it. So I think I'm going to give it 4.5.
0.5 stars. You didn't let me finish. 4.5 stars. I'm with you right there too.
It's just such a good movie. It's got everything.
This movie
Something
is
for everybody.
It's still juicy.
After all this time.
It's good. It's a bop. I mean, you can't not want to watch this movie. I mean, we just watched this and you're just like, man, let's watch it again. Rewatchability has a factor.
It
Plays
was
a factor
good.
in our loving of the movie. It's a rootin' tootin' time, I'd say.
Yeah.
This is a really cool movie poster.
I've always liked the look of these.
But
Posters.
the mummy doesn't really look like any of the mummies, right?
The first poster, it's got that, it's like that sandy cloud head or whatever.
Yeah.
And that has always just reminded me of like that, like
Aladdin.
of Aladdin, like the beast face coming out of the
Yeah,
sand or whatever. Jafar. That's what that has always reminded me of.
Yeah.
But
Well, another day, another staple. Well, everyone, our only question left is, what is your favorite inside quote from The Mummy? Let us know on Instagram at Inside Quotes Cast, or if you're listening on Spotify, type that in right there.
And if you haven't followed us, go ahead and do that and let us know if there are any movies you want us to cover on the show. And join us on Patreon.
Yes, please.
Patreon.com/InsideQuotes is where you can find us. We haven't actually put the link out there like when we're talking about it.
I guess so.
But I put it in the show notes. But Patreon.com/InsideQuotes. Join us over there for the back burners. If you join us over there at $3 a month, we're going to give you a shout out on the show, just like we're going to give one out to Caleb Keenan for sponsoring us on Patreon.
You might recognize him from a past episode when we covered Cool Runnings. He was on that. He's one of our friends.
Cool Runnings. Angels in the Outfield also.
He's in Angels in the Outfield, yep.
And he wants to come back on again, I hear.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, he's a paying customer now, so thanks, Caleb, for being our first ever patron.
First patron.
But yeah, go be one of the first 10.
So, Jeremy, next time, it's going to be your turn to pick the movie here on Inside Quotes. Do you have any idea what we're going to be talking about?
Yes. So, I don't, but it's going to be a staple. That's for sure. Here's the clip.
You want the shotgun?
No, I prefer the Thompson. If I were to say to you, I'm a stranger traveling from the east seeking that which is lost.
Then I would reply that I am a stranger traveling from the west. It is I whom you seek.
And it is true.
What?
You have the sacred mark.
Well, that? No, I got slapped on me when I was in an orphanage in Cairo.
That mark means you're a protector of man, a warrior for God, a Magi.
Sorry. Got the wrong guy.
Our show art was done by Bryce Bridgman, and you could find him on Instagram at GroovyBridge. If you need any artwork, hit him up.
And our music was done by Alex Bird.
And if you love the show, we would love it if you left us a 5-star review. And if you do, we promise to read it on the show.
But more importantly, 5 stars, and we'll give you 10% of the treasure.
50%.
30.
25.
Done.
Ah! Thanks for listening, everybody. We hope you enjoyed listening to us talk about our childhood just as much as we have through these staples. And if you did, make sure you hit follow on Apple Podcasts or Spotify so that you don't miss out on a future episode.
Also, if you like the show, share it with your friends.
Until next week, we'll see you next time on the wrong side of the river.
Goodbye, Benny.